Stylophone GEN X-1 review, part 2. If you've just come straight to this video without seeing part 1, it's well worth seeing part 1 first. The link is down below in the description. And the reason I've made this second video is because there's things I'd missed in the first video that I need to cover. And I didn't cover them in the previous video because my batteries had gone flat. Right, let's get on with it. The speaker and the headphones line out socket. All the recordings done in the previous video were done through the line out, going through a Bluetooth transmitter, which then connected straight to my sound card. So in effect, it was a lead straight from the stylophone into my sound card. And the reason for this was to avoid background noise. The speaker is certainly loud enough for entertaining yourself or your family or for developing sounds, but I wouldn't record it through the speaker because it's not that loud and it's very hard to play the stylophone without hearing the clatter of the stylus on the keys. The speaker is clear enough and it's loud enough to hear what you're doing. And if you turn it up, it's even got a slight lo-fi grunt that gives it that retro feel. Moving on to the combined headphone and line out socket, it's worth pointing out that it produces a really strong signal. So if you're using it with headphones, make sure you lower the volume right down before you plug it in and start playing it. Otherwise, you could quite easily damage your ears. And as well as being a really strong signal, it also produces a really clear signal. So I've got absolutely no criticisms of this at all. If you use the headphone socket as a line out, or if you use the auxiliary in, you have to use stereo leads. And that's because if you use mono ones, they just don't work. But the stylophone itself is monophonic, and the signal in and out is monophonic as well. And if you take a look at this trace on the oscilloscope, you can see the bottom channel is left and the top channel is right, and they are identical. So if you have to take it into a mono amplifier, just take one of the two signals and that'll work perfectly. And the same thing's true in reverse if you want to take sound into the stylophone through the auxiliary in. You'd have to use a stereo 3.5mm jack plug leading to two mono sound sources, and you could use whichever one you prefer. You can see here, whichever channel of the stereo auxiliary in I use, I get the same results coming out of the stylophone. So it doesn't matter which input channel you use, because you'll always get the same output. Right, let's take a listen to what that sounds like. Using the auxiliary in on the Stylophone GEN X-1. Firstly, I'll do a couple of simple tests to see what effect the LFO, delay and filter have on the sound coming in through the auxiliary in. And I'll use the drum machine for this, so I can leave it running whilst I play with the controls. Here's what the drum machine sounds like before going through the X1. Now here's the sound of the drums going through the stylophone. For anyone who might be wondering, yes, you can play the Stylophone at the same time as processing a sound through the auxiliary in. But remember, if you use the LFO, the delay or the filter, the effects apply to both the auxiliary sound and the Stylophone. As a final test, I wanted to see what it would do to the sound of a guitar. But there's no way I can play the guitar and twiddle with the controls on the Stylophone. So I'm going to use a recording that I'll play into the Stylophone using a standard 3.5mm to 3.5mm stereo jack plug lead. Well, some of that was interesting, some of it was horrible, and some of it was really nice. I guess you matched the right sound for the right piece of music, and it could be really useful. Between part 1 of the review and this video, I've tested everything I possibly can on the Stylophone GEN X-1, and it's come out really well. And I haven't been fair with it really, in that I've very much been treating it as a professional piece of kit. However, at the price, you could buy it as a toy, as a learning tool, or as something to do some serious work with. So it's both useful and fun. And for anyone who's just coming on this part of the review, I was bought this for Christmas, so I have no affiliation with Stylophone whatsoever. If you enjoyed this review, I really hope you leave a like. And if you enjoyed this review or would like to see some free guitar lessons, please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon, and then you'll be notified when I upload new lessons. And if you'd like to follow the fingerstyle guitar course that I'm currently still uploading to my YouTube channel, go to www.ebooks4guitar.com. and there you'll find the PDF ebooks completely free that you can download so you can follow the course more easily. Thanks again for watching.